Once again, we've come back to the Big Texan in Amarillo, Texas, where they have the big famous 72-ounce steak challenge. That's a big steak, 3 shrimp, a salad, a baked potato, and a dinner roll. But now they're also adding a pitcher of tea, sweet, sweet tea. And I only have 45 minutes instead of the usual hour. Is that going to be enough time for me to get it done? There's only one way to find out. It's time for a freak eating challenge. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Freak Eating. We've come full circle and we're back at the Big Texan Steakhouse in Amarillo, Texas. Once again, I was taking on the infamously famous 72-ounce steak challenge on the big stage in the middle of the diner. Now that's a 72-ounce steak, a baked potato, a dinner roll, a salad, and 4 fried shrimp in 1 hour or less. If I could eat it all, I'd get my meal for free and score a sweet t-shirt. Countless have tried and many have failed, but I was trying to improve my record to 2-0.
All right, Big Texan, let me get your attention on stage, please. I have Nader here saying he has a big Texan-sized appetite. He usually has 1 hour to do the challenge, folks, and he says he's only going to need 45 minutes. So everybody's got to eat 4.5-pound steak, 3 fried shrimp, a roll, a baked potato, and a salad. He's got that 45 minutes to go, so everybody's cheer him on and get him going.
He is 2 minutes in and he's moving it forward. So
We were also filming this for an episode of the Great American Eat-Off back in July of 2017. So if you're wondering why Gail Kasper is right there sitting next to me on stage, that's pretty much the explanation. Q the Critic, who you might recognize from Reckless Eating and from his own YouTube channel, was a special guest challenger, so that's why he's sharing the stage with us. We'd already filmed the main part of the Great American Eat-Off, and now it was time for me to tangle with a humongous steak dinner. You can check out this episode of the Great American Eat-Off if you'd like. I have it down in the description section, but you have to have Facebook. And I also have a link to Q's channel, so you can check out some of his awesome burger reviews. Q's big thing is burger reviews. He does a burger crawl. But he's also a steak man, a meat man. So he really enjoyed visiting and dining at the Big Texan. And just so you know, we actually ate breakfast there together the morning of this challenge. Of course, I need to take a step back and explain that I wasn't taking the regular 72-ounce steak challenge. That's easy mode. For the sake of the show, and to make it more of a challenge, since I'd already completed it before, we upped the stakes big time. Instead of a regular baked potato, I got a fully loaded baked potato. I was also required to drink a half-gallon pitcher of sweet tea, and instead of getting a full hour to finish the challenge, I would only have 45 minutes. The only way this challenge could have gotten more difficult is if we added a dessert. And for the record, the dessert options at the Big Texan are gigantic. Big slabs of chocolate cake and cheesecake line the dessert case out front. Maybe if I go back to take the challenge for a third time, I'll talk the manager into adding in a big piece of dessert. But all jokes aside, the challenge we created was definitely steep. Anytime you include a bunch of drink in a challenge, you know it's going to be extremely filling, and there's an increased risk of failure because there is a chance that all that liquid is going to cause some stomach disturbances and possibly a reversal of fortune. You know what though? I really like how the steakhouse goes all out in the presentation of this challenge. It's arguably one of the most famous food challenges in the whole world, and they work hard to protect that legacy. I remember an episode of The Simpsons that kind of made fun of the Big Texan Steak Challenge by when Homer ate a giant steak. There's signs all over the restaurant and outside the restaurant advertising this big challenge. They have signs posted all throughout the city of Amarillo talking about it. And there's even a few billboards on the main highway as you drive into town daring you to take it on. The announcer that calls your name and works the crowd as you start the challenge is literally the icing on the cake. It would be really cool if more restaurants took their challenge this seriously or made it as fun to be a part of it. They maintain a giant wall of fame inside the restaurant celebrating the people who finished the challenge. And there's also a webpage that you can see online that maintains a huge historical list of all the winners. I got that link down below too. But here's a fun fact, or a sad fact. Even though I finished the challenge in early 2017, and I have a champion's number, you won't find me anywhere on the list. I have no idea why. I think it gave me an extra special motivation to do the challenge again, and to put in a little extra effort. The stakes were high with all the extra stipulations we set, and I was determined not to fail. Honestly, I gotta say the cut of steak was excellent this second time around. I ordered the steak medium well, and it delivered from the first bite to the last. When I had done the challenge the first time, I found myself battling a steak that got more rubbery as I went on. Not so much this time. It was much softer, and it was an overall nice dining experience. Based on this second steak, I would definitely be game to come back and eat at the Big Texan for a third time. Maybe I won't take the challenge. Maybe I'll just eat something normal. The sides were not particularly impressive, but they were solid. I really liked how the starchiness of the baked potato and the fry batter of the shrimp broke up the dominance of the beef. 72 ounces is a big cut of steak, and without question, it makes up the vast bulk of this eating challenge. If you don't like steak or beef, you probably won't be getting through this one. But adding the sweet tea was the X factor. To my mind, I knew it would make it a close one. But as I got deeper into the challenge and I realized I'd probably finish all the food in time, I really wondered if I'd be able to drink down all that tea within 45 minutes. A half gallon is not an insane amount to drink, but on top of a large meal, it can feel ridiculous. I'm happy I didn't do anything stupid like order a full gallon of tea on top of my steak dinner. Now, I think that would have been impossible. Man, it was always going to be a close one. I think that's what makes a food challenge video interesting. Watching someone dominate the food is fun, but after a while, I think it gets boring. Similarly, when you always watch someone lose, that isn't fun either. You need that edge of drama to create a reason to watch and to see what happens. You don't always want to know the result when you start the video. Now that was a mouthful, but seriously, that's why I sometimes add crazy or weird stipulations to my challenges, to increase the tension and the difficulty level, and to make it uncertain as to whether you're going to see me win or lose. So, would I be able to finish all the steak and the sides and the sweet tea in 45 minutes? Or would my sense of over-the-top ridiculousness get the better of me? There's only one way to find out. And if you're bored, you can always skip to the end. I'll stop talking now.
up one more time. After he finishes the rest of this heat right here, he will be our next champion. So let's cheer him on and finish that off.
A close victory indeed, a very close victory, but that made it feel all the more sweeter. Perhaps a little too sweet. And for the record, they still haven't added my name to the Wall of Fame. I finished it twice. What's a guy gotta do in this world anyway? If you enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button. I'll see you all in the next video. And until we eat again, stay in school, don't do drugs, and eat like a freak. Got more coming soon.